So, good morning. This is Karen with Veronica's Tarot. Again, thank you for being patient with the lovely atmosphere. I've done some shuffling, so today is our current energy reading. And we're going to do current situation, present influence, future influence, what we don't see, challenge, what to watch for, advice, and outcome. Maybe. Outcome if needed, yeah. We usually do pull it, don't we? Okay, so current situation for today's energies. Strength, and then present influence is Knight of Cups. Nice. Okay, future influence, Seven of Cups. So what we don't see or know, don't see or know. King of Swords. And then challenge for today, or for this situation. High Priestess, interesting. But that can always be a challenge. So we're going to do what to look for. Six of Pentacles, advice, Tower, and outcome, please. Hierophant. Okay, so the bottom of the deck is Five of Swords. I think that can be kind of a warning to Five of Swords is knowing when to let go. And when I look at the advice, it makes complete sense, or can make sense. Five of Swords is about a battle and you're fighting, and you either fight till you win, you go, you know what, it's not worth it, I'm going to walk away, or you fight till you lose. And those are the decisions that we have to make. Is it worth the battle? So this is something maybe that, and the Five of Swords can be up in your brain too. So, hey, am I fighting something with myself, with my thoughts? Definitely could be. The current situation is the Strength card. And I think that's trying to be strong, being strong, holding your own, staying confident, staying in your own power. And the strength too is not this brutal strength, right? But it's kind of a soft feel. And because we have the Knight of Cups as our present influence, I feel like that's where the softness comes from, the strength. This is about, to me, the Knight of Cups is about bringing joy, bringing something that emotionally feels good. And I believe that, I feel like this is, you're at a point where this influence of this night, this wanting that offer, wanting that gift of feeling good, feeling proud, has put you in a mode of being strong, but doing it absolutely in a positive way. So in the future, the influence is the Seven of Cups. So I feel like that's going to be some kind of choices that come up and that we're going to have to make. So what are we going to do? Now, the Seven of Cups can also be about being overwhelmed with choices. Like, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Or like, be careful what you choose, because some of the gifts may appear to be good. Maybe that choice is not. So to me, you do have all of these choices. I'm looking at the card as I'm saying. And I feel like that's, kind of a warning too. Like, okay, well, yeah, you got to make a choice. Two, sometimes the way I understand this is when we don't make our choices and we have all of these things in front of us and we don't reach out to one of these things, eventually the universe is going to make those choices for us. So, just be careful of that in the future, and know that, look at what your choices are, and I believe too, because of the Strength card as well, is, really meditate on them too. Like, okay, what do you see when you see, if I do this, what do I envision? What do I see? If I do this, what do I see? What do I envision? And you'll know when you do that, if you can really try to recreate that in your brain, what feels the best, and we're going to get to the challenge here in a minute, but kind of speaks to that. So then what we don't see is the King of Swords, and I feel like that's the fight. So there's this piece of you that wants that that cup feeling, that emotional stability, that emotional gift, that there's something very loving about that energy. But what we don't see is this King of Swords, which is kind of our intellect fighting this. We're fighting this, and that's why the decision's going to be hard. And this is why I think too the challenge is the High Priestess. So the High Priestess in our challenge is about making these decisions. So like I just said, like envisioning this stuff. Okay, if I do this, how does this really look to me, and how do I see this, and really focus on that. And but this is the challenge, because this is our intuition, right? This is our gut feelings. This is our spirituality, and this is going to be hard for some reason. And not really, but it's hard because that King of Swords and that Knight of Cups, those are two complete opposite energies. You've got this loving and you've got this intellect, and it's fighting, and that's where the choices are coming in. And also that's what's fighting the choices. That's the Five of Swords. You're fighting this in your head because you have these two different opposite influences that are happening. So, and the challenge being, how do I really dig down and decide what to do? Now, in the what to watch for is the Six of Pentacles. Now, this can be balanced, but this can also be give and take. So really look for that too, like the give and take. When we make decisions, you know, there's this rosy outlook of the thing that we really, really want, but know that everything has its positive and negatives. Everything does, you know. We talk about that when we go look for a job. Well, I don't like my job now because I really like this piece of my job, but I don't like this piece of my job. Well, if I go get this, I may like the opposite. It's really what is really the most important thing to you. And I think that that's what the Six of Pentacles is saying. Watch for the balance, watch for the give and take. Are you going to be getting as much as you're giving? And yeah, so that's really what to watch for. Then we have like the Tower as advice, and that tells me flat up when I'm looking at the swords, what do we give up? I would say that the Tower speaks to letting it fall, and letting it fall where it may. And sometimes that might be what you need to do, is go, you know what, I'm giving it to Spirit. And that could, you know, if you can't get through this challenge of the High Priestess and really making that decision, then you're giving it to Spirit, and you're letting the universe take care of it. And that's what the Tower does anyway. The Tower creates changes in our life because Spirit, higher power, however you want to see that, is saying, you're not going in the right direction, dude. You got to change that up. So when we get this as advice, do we just let Spirit make those decisions for us, or do we just let everything go, or do we just let one thing go? So it's just something to keep in mind as you go through the day and thinking about, how am I going to deal with this? Well, I'm going to let it go or let it fall where it may. And that might be exactly what to do. The outcome is the Hierophant. And I think that tells us that there is a lot of learning and or teaching involved, and it could affect some of you either way. You may be able to learn something well enough from the situation that you're able to pass that knowledge on, or you are going to learn a lot from the situation. I feel like in this case, this is really about learning or teaching, not necessarily. But again, you know, we've got a lot of spiritual cards here with the High Priestess and the Tower, and I kind of, and the Strength is kind of a spiritual card to me, because it's an inner strength. So I just feel like, you know, if you're having a struggle making a decision, the challenge is trusting that intuition. And if you can't do that, then know that the Tower is going to do that for you. Good or bad, like the Tower doesn't always mean negative. So when we see the Tower, a lot of people think, oh my God, devastation. Not necessarily. For some people, it absolutely is. And we all have our hard cards that affect each one of us differently. One person can look at that Tower and it be totally miserable, Where when I see the Tower, it's like I want the change usually. I need things stirred up. I need the shift or the, just let it all go. And, so it really depends on who you are and how you deal with change and how you deal with sudden change. So the Tower to me is not being advice, especially too. It's not a bad card. And other than the Five of Swords at the bottom of the deck, the rest are not either. This is just working through two emotions. Like, okay, not two emotions, because the Knight of Cups is your emotions. It's working through your heart and your head. And that's the decision. Do I go with my heart or do I go with my head? And High Priestess is going to be your challenge, getting through that in a, can you use your intuition? And that's kind of what everything is saying, that you need to do that, especially with the choices coming in. So I hope you enjoyed that. And again, thanks for being patient. We got a couple more days. Just so you know, I won't post Friday. I've got a very, very early flight. And maybe not Saturday because I may be resting. I don't know, but just be prepared. I will post again tomorrow, and have a beautiful day. Thanks.